it's that time. Let's talk about how you can get rich. I want to be completely honest with you. I've been really reluctant to do this sort of video because I think it has the potential to come across as a bit smug, a little bit muggy, but let's face it, this channel is about helping you grow your financial wealth, ideally through property. And so it'd be a bit stupid me not sharing how I've done it and how you can too. But before I get started, let me share a little story about me. So I don't really profess to be one of those financial wizards, a guru or anything like that. I actually like to think of myself as a student of the science of money. That being said, my background over as a childhood is very blue collar, so my family is very hands-on. The other half of my family are on benefits, which is absolutely fine. More to give you an understanding of my financial upbringing, if you like. Fast forward to now, between 20 and 30, the better part of a decade, have now become a cash multi-millionaire. So over the past 10 years, I've gone from mostly credit cards up to multi-millionaire, spending most of my time now talking shit on YouTube, hoping at least one of you will listen. So how exactly did I make this happen? Getting rich is actually more simple than you think. It's when people add that one word at the end, get rich quick, that everything goes wrong. As soon as you start rushing to make money, you make mistakes, you buy into things. And often when I meet somebody that has lost all of their money and they've got this story behind it, they don't need to tell me. I can guarantee they tried to get rich quick. Getting rich is actually quite simple. It's when you add in that single word, quick. Get rich quick. It embraces everything that is wrong about making money. There's nothing quick about becoming wealthy. And this is where you're going to get scammed over and over again and invest in arbitrary investments that are going to ruin your long-term wealth. So Bill Gates said that most people significantly overestimate what they can achieve in a year and seriously underestimate what they can achieve in 10 years. And the same is true with your financial well-being. I embrace a get rich slow mentality and I really enjoy that. I like being patient. But what does that actually look like? Well, what it doesn't mean is waiting around for decades upon decades to actually have any significant wealth. But it does mean slowing down to speed up. As I said earlier, I've been in it for around 8 years, so not quite 10 years. And when I do hit that 10-year mark, I'll do a full 10 years, but I can show you the growth over my first 5 years and see how you can compare against that. So let's jump straight in and look at the numbers. So I've always been obsessed with numbers. I actually think finances are an incredibly valuable skill to have in order to grow your wealth. So I've actually tracked it over time and I want to show you these first 5 years, not to impress you, but to impress upon you the value of patience in your investment portfolio. So what does it look at from year 0? Well, I actually started in negative 33,000. How did I start there? Well, I screwed up. I was a kid, I was a bit of an idiot, made a load of mistakes, but ultimately credit cards is actually how I got started. There's also startup cost to business, and sometimes it goes down and gets worse before it gets better. But what we'll quickly see is how that investment paid off over the next 5. So let's skip forward to the end of year 1. So we did £118,680. So just a reminder, all the way through this is my personal net wealth figure, not what I earn in the year. This is after expenses, after debts, etc. So it's kind of gone down and then shot up. I'll be honest, this year was really hard. I questioned myself a lot and I give up a lot, by the way. People just think it's on and on and on. But that first year, I felt like giving up honestly on at least a weekly basis, sometimes every single day. But it just shows you've got to keep pushing. Year 2, I had fairly substantial growth and I jumped up to 300,000, almost to the penny. Now, the reason for this is I just carried on reinvesting. And so even at this point, I was personally paying myself and living off £1,000 a month. Now, you might think, well, that's ridiculous when you've got that amount of money. But as I'll get to in a moment, if you're going to spend your life trying to impress other people, often you can look rich but be poor. And I tried taking the complete opposite. I wore the same clothes for years. I didn't upgrade my wardrobe. I didn't upgrade my car. I didn't upgrade my house. In fact, I was still living in a room in a house of multiple occupancy. And my first member of staff was getting paid more than I was because I just wanted to reinvest so heavily. Talking about reinvestment, when we look at year number 3, which was just over 366,000 net worth, so that's still a 66 grand increase, but not substantial. And a huge part of this is what I would call a recalibration year. So a recalibration year is when you start reinvesting quite heavily. So I was happy with, it's called CapEx or capital expenditure, where I'm reinvesting in the company, I'm reinvesting in marketing, I'm reinvesting in brand, I'm reinvesting in systems, processes, the team, so that I can implement a deferred gratification mindset, which really started to pay off in year 4. This year saw some pretty huge growth. I actually jumped up to £561,000 net worth. And this was quite exciting, not because of the number, although breaking that £500,000 threshold was really cool. It was actually the jump. And you'll hear me talking on this channel about compounding quite a lot and deferred gratification, and time is your best asset. And so what I'm starting to notice here is the curvature is starting to go more vertical. So, and I've seen that from years and years since, as you'll see, and suddenly the jumps each year start getting quite staggering. So much so that in year 5, it jumped up to £973,000. So from this standstill journey where at year 0, I'm at minus 33,000, within a 5-year period, I was just shy of hitting £1 million net worth. Now, was this in cash? No, at this point, most of it's in assets. But what that means is if I sold all of my assets, got rid of everything, I would have £973,000 cash in the bank. And I know that I said I was only going to do the first 5 years, but just so you know how the next year looked, I jumped up to £1.646 million. So in that 1 year, my personal net worth went up around 700,000. And so hopefully that shows you the direction that it's going on. And again, I'm really hoping this doesn't come across in a smug way. It's really to show you that I have achieved what I'm talking about, and so the knowledge I'm about to share can dramatically improve your life. To coincide with that, here are my 10 rules of wealth and well-being to live your life by. Deferred gratification. Appreciate the benefit of living below your means. Recently, I bought an Aston Martin DBS, which is a stupid car to get, but that's after 8 years of grind and hustle to get there. Figure out how to make money whilst you sleep, and remember that assets pay for your liabilities. So mentioning the Aston Martin, I know exactly how much it's costing me on a monthly basis. So did I go out and just buy it? No, I went out and invested in property, and the cash flow from that property pays for the Aston Martin. The younger you are, the more risks you can take. When you're in your 30s or your 40s or your 50s even, you're relatively young in the grand scheme of things. You can afford to make mistakes and lose it all. So stop acting like you're a 90-year-old pensioner already. You need to take advantage of the time you've got and get aggressive with your investment strategy. Stop wasting time, energy, and money impressing people you don't even like. And I went through a good period of this, a good few years in the beginning, where I would just buy this random shit that didn't matter to me because it looked good to other people. The way I'd dress, the way I'd go out and spend money was all for other people's benefit. And then when I went home, I just felt low, shallow, and empty. And actually, I spend a lot of my life now doing things for me and what matters to me. And so I might not have a load of materialistic things, but I live life on my terms and naturally attract the people that are aligned to my values. Have a good look at who you take advice from, especially your parents. Now, my mum, I love her to bits. If you know me, I'm a proper mummy's boy, but I'm not going to take financial advice from my mum because she doesn't know anything about making money. And often I find that because we're so close and our parents love us, that actually they're trying to protect us so much that they don't allow you to fly free. So always listen to advice, but be aware of the person giving it to you. How much you retain is more important than how much money you make. And this is linking back to managing your finances in the first place. How much money you retain is more important than how much money you make. And this links back to what I was saying earlier about managing money, that rich is based on how much money you're making, wealth is based on the amount of time. You could earn £1 million a year, but if you spend it all in a year, you're not particularly wealthy. Or you can earn £50,000 a year and only spend 25 grand a year. You're going to be wealthy for the rest of your life. Constantly increase and invest in your financial IQ and your body. And I know this isn't directly related, but I'm a big believer in you are what you eat, you are what you consume as well. So if you're spending your mornings and your evenings watching shitty TV, the news, which let's face it is almost always negative, Netflix, Amazon Prime, whatever it is, then don't be shocked that actually you're feeling down. Because if you're surrounded by negativity, you are negative. In the same way that if your body doesn't represent what you are, again, take out if it's a medical condition, if you're consuming a load of shit food, don't be shocked that you're putting on weight. And I find this a lot where I'm like, why am I losing weight? It's like, well, the 3 nights of Deliveroo might have something to do with that, Jamie, okay? So reinvest in your body, reinvest in your mind to be the best version of yourself. Learn to control your emotions or accept the fact that your emotions will control you. Now, as I've developed over the years, and I still lose my temper from time to time when I'm getting stressed and things like that, but nothing good comes of losing your rag. It makes other people feel bad about themselves. It makes you feel bad about yourself, and then makes you feel bad about making them feel bad about yourself. Control your emotions or prepare to be controlled. Expect and embrace failure. I honestly think this is one of the best things you can do. If you think you're going to go out there and make millions upon millions and you're not going to ruffle some feathers, you're not going to make some mistakes, you're not going to piss people off, you're not going to be overwhelmed, you're not going to feel depressed, then you're delusional. There's a lot of things that go wrong, okay? I'm not perfect. I make mistakes every single day. I'm trying to grow as a person. I'm trying to grow as a friend to somebody, as a partner, as a boss, as a colleague. And I'm going to make mistakes as that's happening. Remember, the downside of being outside of your comfort zone is there's so much that's new to you. And the moment that you embrace the fact that you're gonna make mistakes, and that does not represent failure as such, then you can get up from it and carry on fighting for the next day. And most importantly, be patient with yourself. People say life is short, but actually life's pretty long in the grand scheme of things. You can afford to make mistakes. You can afford to lose. You can afford to have shit days. You're not a robot, okay? You're a human being. And I promise you, the anxieties you have, I have too. When you're feeling down and depressed, I have that too. When you doubt yourself, I have that too. When you feel you could be doing better, I have that too. Forgive yourself more, be patient, and accept the fact we're all growing and learning every single day. So listen, it's a bit of a different video and vibe that I went from here, but I wanted to get across to you that you can do this. Every single one of you watching this video, you are on your road to success. And I hate this line, but you've got to embrace the journey because it's exciting, okay? The actual measure of having the million in your bank, that's just an outcome. If you get the right education, the right mindset, the right discipline, success is inevitable. But hey, if you want to increase those odds, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and I'd massively appreciate it if you likely tap the like button. And hey, whilst you're here, why not watch this video about the JAR system and how you can manage your money more effectively?